So AIMS, we have to watch the video. Okay, sure. We have to watch the video first. So, ladies and gentlemen, did you see the color of the plane? The color of the plane in the video. What was the color? Red. Mostly red, right? And there was a little bit of white, right? And do you know the color I'm wearing today? No. Yes. Okay. So that's the whole idea. Okay. Plan it properly so that you guys know which destination we're targeting today. So just a little bit about us. Okay. So we started here in Singapore. Approximately in this very building, actually, International Plaza, Singapore, 15 years ago, 2006, November 1st. That's when it all began. Over years, right, this past 15 years, we've been facilitating immigration. That's what we do. And as much as possible, relocation to certain countries. Okay. Vision and mission, maybe not many of you are very interested, but just a very quick one. So we want to help our clients to attain their migration journey. I don't think we have been successful 100% of the time, but we do our best in each and every client's application. Okay. So pushed. Okay. So, as far as you know, right, I don't know what pushed you to come here today or what pushed you to watch the video today, but in terms of these major decisions in life, right, most people have to be pushed. So that's how we abbreviate our core values at it. Okay? Because what we have seen over the last 15 years, right, there are three things that we cannot control at all. Okay? First thing is our age, right? Okay, I just celebrated my birthday this month. Okay, so basically I got older. So in some cases, right, my points drop. In some cases, I don't qualify anymore. It is what it is. We cannot escape that age. Number two, health. Okay. Tonight I'm attending a friend's father's wake. He just passed away because of heart issues. Again, health is something that we cannot control. control. And in most immigration cases, right, when one person fails the health check, the whole family fails. So that's the second thing. And third thing, policies. Okay? So I would like to quote a country where we have an office. One of our latest office across the age group, right, is actually in Myanmar. Okay? In January 2020, the US president back then, Donald Trump, came up and said, because of what's happening in Myanmar to the Rohingya Muslims, we will not allow any Burmese into our country. So as a result of that, right, all our applications out of Myanmar that were bound for America had to be refunded and cancelled. It's a government policy. We cannot overcome that. Okay? After that, Biden came into power. He reversed some of Donald Trump's immigration policies. So now we can do it again. But what's happening in Myanmar today, if we all follow the news, is unfortunate, right? But it's happening. So again, these things do impact, whether it's the country's own politics or the immigration destination policies. These are the things that we cannot control. So three things why we pushed. We push you because we know that you're getting older by the day. We push you because we have absolutely no control of your health. And thirdly, we have no control of government policies. So after 15 years, the same answer to the same question is, Piers, when is the best time to migrate? It's not when you want, it's when you qualify. That's very, very important. This is where we are, okay? So if you are viewing or you're watching us from one of these, then you can go to our offices directly. If not, right, I think what COVID-19 has taught us, right, is that a lot of things are remote and possible to be done. These are all the destinations that we're facilitating. And if you Google, okay, whether you Google or you Baidu, you know, or you Alta Vista or you Yahoo.com, right, and you search most desired immigration destination, okay, there's only one answer. There's only one answer. Okay, and this is the country that we're talking about today, the United States. All right, this is us, okay? Along the way, some of you who had tuned into the video, you'll see that we had 14 offices, okay? As far as you know, many businesses have been impacted by COVID, okay? And immigration was never spared. When you think about immigration, you think about COVID, it just doesn't gel. People don't travel, people don't cross to another country, people lose jobs, people get worried about the future, people don't decide to do these things. But still, the reason why we push still stands very tightly. You must always do it when you qualify and when you can. Because when you want to, policies may not allow you, health may not allow you, age may not allow you. Okay, these are all the spectrum of work that we provide, okay, from skilled workers to investors to student visas to corporate relocation, okay, as well as citizenship by investment, which some people can apply along the way or directly, family visas for your family to come together with you or to reunite with you, employer sponsorship, one of our key topics today, as well as entrepreneurs, okay, and investors. We'll take you through to what are the options available for people to move into America. This is what we strive to be, okay? Affordability is subjective, but I can only say when you pay us for a service, okay, it will be definitely worth your money. One stop, okay, like I said, as much as we are concerned, many people worry about, when they move to another country, they worry about housing, they worry about children's education, they worry about what they're going to do, what job they can get, okay? As much as possible, we try to settle these relocation issues, right? Like when we were sorting out one of the local tours for one of our clients who just came over from Hong Kong. So clearly they don't know what is an MRT, they call it the MTR there. Clearly they don't know what is a cash card, right? They call it an octopus card there. So these are the things that there may be similarities, but it still has to be ironed out. Like when we tell people, say, let's go to a coffee shop. As a Singaporean, you clearly know what is a coffee shop. But if you come from another part of the world, you probably think it's a Starbucks. What is a hawker center? What is a market? This is Singapore that we're talking about. When you're here, it's so easy. But when you move to another country, it's not as straightforward. So that's where we come in and help you to settle in properly. Okay, cool. This is to tell me we are going into the main topic. Okay. So United States of America, most of you will know it. Okay, it's a country. Some people who were leading the country made it a lot more famous, right? But I think we are at a 40-something US president already. It's a country old enough. Still top GDP across the world. Definitely not the largest population, but still very self-sustained. Still about 300 million and growing. And what is the fastest way for a country's population to grow? Increased birth rate, that's one angle, but it's usually very slow, is by immigration. So most countries know that by having a clear immigration policy, they will help their population to grow and help their economy This is without a doubt. Okay, so land of opportunity. Until today, many people still believe in the American dream. Okay, we have nothing against that because we have seen what our clients have attained from moving from different parts of the world into America. Those are the things that they have done, and it's very exciting and interesting. World-class education, again, no denying, right? We have seen most of the top universities. I believe NUS and NTU belong to the top 50, but the top 10, it's still across America and some in UK. Okay, so how exactly do you get a US green card? And what is a US green card? It is actually permanent residence. It's actually permanent residence. Okay, so there are 5 key categories that we'll be taking you through very quickly today. It's called the employment-based category. Employment-based. Okay, it's called the EB1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so what is EB1? Okay, EB1, as you can see, extraordinary abilities. Okay, or probably athlete. Okay, maybe one example that I can think of from Singapore, maybe just an example. It has not been done. He's not our client. We are in no way related to him. But one possible example who can go for an EB1. And all of you heard of Joseph Schooling? All of you heard of Joseph Schooling? Perfect. He's one perfect example of a person who has the potential to apply for an EB1. Okay, again, I make it very clear. Joseph Schooling is not our client. I just know him as an Olympic winner. Okay, we are no way related to him. Very clear, huh? Okay. And we are not insinuating anything. Okay, in case we have these keyboard warriors who wants to say a lot of things. Okay, it's nothing to do. Okay, EB2. Okay, usually these people, they have exceptional abilities in arts, sciences, or business. Okay, for example, today, again, not related to us, we have someone who is helming the Sovereign Wealth Fund of Singapore, right, who is very capable, right, and then she wants to apply for EB2, that's possible as well, right. EB3, okay, today we are going to deep dive into EB3. EB3 has a wide spectrum. EB3 is one of the most underutilized EB options, employment-based options across US. It has been underutilized for the last 10 years because of certain reasons, which we are going to talk about it shortly. EB4, for example, today if you're a pastor and you want to go to America to preach your religion, that's a completely fine, and that's the visa you should be going for, all right? And of course, EB5 is an investment migration. Then why do you call it employment-based? The reason why you call it employment-based, because in this 5th category of employment-based visa, you are the one who are creating the jobs. So the first 1, 2, 3, 4, you are the one who are being hired. The 5th one, you are the one hiring. All good, huh? Okay, so today we are going to deep dive into EB3. What is the employment-based third preference? We really understand example 1, Joseph Schooling, EB1, okay? If you are in that category, congratulations, okay? EB2, someone who is running a very big company on a very famous on a world basis, for example, running a Sovereign Wealth Fund of Singapore. An example that will be EB3, okay? You, me, all of us will be able to qualify for EB3. That's the good news, okay? So what exactly is the EB3, okay? So we have 3 categories, the skilled, the professional, and the unskilled. What is unskilled? Unskilled is defined in America as a job that we can take on with less than 3 months of training. A job that we can take on with less than 3 months of training. Okay? So, just one example. Okay? Today, right, if this office becomes very dirty, okay, and all 10 of us here, we each want to clean out the office individually. Everything will be different, right? Some will vacuum the carpet first, some will clean the glass first, some will move the tables first. Everybody's strategy will be different. But at the end of the day, we all don't have to get trained. And we can clean up the office. That's one example of unskilled work. Okay? So what is so attractive about this unskilled work? Okay. Remember there was this gentleman who wanted to build a wall in his country? It's not the Great Wall of China, by the way. Yeah, he wanted to build a wall in the country. And he wanted to build a wall in a very clear way that he was blocking a certain nationality from coming into America. Anybody got a clue which nationality that was? The Mexicans. You guys heard about the news? Okay, so traditionally in America, a lot of these jobs, right, are undertaken by Mexicans. The unskilled jobs. people who work as chambermaids, people who clean out the houses, people who are janitors, some even take on security function, some who work in nursery plants, like the kind where there are a lot of plants going around, they have to water, they move the pots around. These are really unskilled jobs, okay? And of course, if you guys have heard of cases like abattoirs, where people will cut the fish and stuff like that, those were the people taking on these jobs. But because of the war, so what has happened? A lot of them have decided not to come in, or a lot of them have left. So it has created a sudden surge in demand of the EB3 unskilled workers category, which has been, Google it, underutilized for the last 10 years. Totally underutilized. So from then, since our dear Trump came into power, okay, we had seen this opportunity because the US employers have found it very hard to find people to fit into the role. And that's why we started to look into our offices where we have people who are willing, like really willing, to do this kind of work. And what do you get in return of that? Of course, you get a job, okay? It's not fantastic, okay? Because the job is really not rocket science. It's as simple as manual work, really as simple as manual work, but you get a green card. So we put A, B, and C together, and then we have this program that we're going to talk about today. Of course, we cannot deny that there are people with money. Okay, one of the things that our dear Trump did, right, which I think was pretty amazing, just a quick background on Singapore, this country that we are all in, right? When we first started the business in Singapore, there was an investor stream that comes into Singapore. Okay, and back then, right, you need to invest 5 million Singapore dollars, you park it with a bank, you can take out 2 million, buy a house in Sentosa, and the government will give you a PR. This program was endorsed by MAS, Monetary Authority of Singapore. Fast forward to 2021. Do you know what the 5 million has become? Anybody wants to make a guess? 200 million. Nowadays, you all hear of big names, right? Like the Google guy, Ray Dalio, James Dyson, Eduardo Salary. These people are Singapore PRs, or potentially Singapore PRs, or citizens. And these people probably, they have brought 200 million into Singapore and set up a family office. So, instead of 15 years, based on AIM statistics, we have seen 5 million become 200 million. It has grown by 40 times. EB5, since 30 years ago, one of the oldest investor immigrant program in the world, was always 500,000 US dollars. However, in 2020, it became 900. So that was one thing that the leader of America decided to do. Almost double the investment, almost double, but did not double. I think it's the right thing to do because when demand is more than supply, the price will go up. But it took them kind of long, like 30 years to realize, okay? So it's still a viable option, just that people who have done with us in 19, 18, 17, all the way until 2006, they invested 500,000, created 10 jobs in America, got their green card. If you decided to do it today, it's 900. But it's still doable, it's still viable. Okay, that's called the EB5 investor visa. What your money does, your 900,000 goes into a specific project in a specific part of America, and this investment is running either a factory, running a development, running a school, and this school, development, or factories create 10 jobs based on your 900,000 investment, and as a result of that, it is called the employment-based fifth preference. Okay, so yeah, this is what I was talking about. All good? Okay, so bearing this in mind, okay, assuming we are not Joseph, we are not running sovereign funds, we are not religious practitioners, we are down to two options, EB5 and EB3, right? So 5 is this, let's take a look at 3. Employer-sponsored green card, meaning to say you cannot just apply. You cannot say, hey, I know how to clean up the AIMS office. So no, it doesn't work that way. We need to have someone in America who has a clear need and proven that they are unable to hire locals for that role, okay? Then they can sponsor you and apply for this visa. Okay. The interesting thing is, okay, because a lot of us are Singaporeans, right? We understand that it's either you have a lot of money, you become a direct PR, or you come to Singapore, you work, you get on the EP, subsequently you apply, okay? There are a few countries in this world, okay, where once the employer sponsors you, you get a direct permanent residence, okay? One of them is America, another one is Australia, another one is Canada. However, do we have employers in Australia and Canada? No. Why? Because the job market right now is in a situation where there are more people, more locals looking for jobs than they can hire from overseas. Okay? And in America, because of this unique offering where we are talking about unskilled, that's why this is still a possibility and it's still doable, very much doable. Okay? Okay, common criteria. To be honest, right, these criteria were never ever set by immigration. Never ever. But what we have done over the last 2.5 years, dealing with the employers, we know that they are looking at these things. I'm not saying that a 56-year-old man is not fit. I'm not saying that, okay? But that's how an employer will see. Because today, right, let's put it very simply. If I'm going to employ someone to do manual work, okay, and I know there's a 30-year-old man and a 30-year-old lady, okay, because it's manual, I will definitely choose a man over the woman. Not that I'm sexist, okay, but it's just about strength. Okay, so same thing, if we postulate or guess, most likely a 30-year-old man should be stronger than a 50-year-old man. Should be. Okay, yeah, so that's what it is. Okay, so there will be a simple video resume done up by our applicant. Okay, and of course, we would ensure that the person is healthy, and you should know whether you are healthy or not. Okay, and you must always remember that the job is not easy, it's not administrative, it's not air conditioned, it's not office based. Okay, we are not here to sell you fake stuff. That's not us. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. We need simple things: a real CV, okay, which will provide you the format. We need a 30 seconds video introduction. We need labor cert questionnaire, which is something that immigration department has to look into and see that there's a match. Okay, so to ensure that we are not in hanky-panky and the counterparty that we are dealing with are not scammed. Okay, unfortunately, after 15 years in the world of immigration, the last funny thing that I heard about the Greece immigration program, again, nothing to do with today's presentation, but just sharing, there's one house in Greece that has been sold to 8 clients. Because today, when you spend 250,000 euro, you buy a house in Greece, you get a Greece PR. So there's this property agent, okay, that is not AIMS. The one house that he has, he sold it to 8 clients, collected so much money, 2 million to be exact, and now they're all in the lawsuit. So being AIMS, thankfully we were not in that deal. Thankfully, none of the 8 belongs to us, but it's just immigration news. Okay, we do our due diligence. Okay, but the truth of the matter is, right, if someone is out to scam you, I can assure you, no matter how much due diligence you do, unless you live there for 2 years and make sure that the business, everything is running properly, which we cannot afford that kind of time, you will still be scammed. Okay, but just so you're assured, right, this program we've been running for 2.5 years. Not 2.5 weeks, not 2.5 months, okay? So we have clients who are there now, thankfully, approved for the green card and living in America, so we dare to proudly say that this is not a scam. There are tons of immigration scams that are ongoing in the world, okay, but this is clearly not one of them, okay? And and you will see some familiar faces today, like our dear Adeline, who is sitting here today with a slightly bigger belly. Yeah, so we were there to see what's happening and what they're going to do, right? So this was something called Organized Mom. So clearly, this employer is no longer employing, but just to share with you. And we also went on to some nursery plants, okay? Yeah, so this is Portland, one of the nursery plants that we visited to see how is the working condition. You can see here is hot sun. It's hot sun, and people are working 9 hours under the hot sun with 1 hour lunch break. Okay? Village nurseries. Yes, so when in Singapore, if you want to operate legally to help people to find jobs, whether the job is in Singapore or not in Singapore, we double and triple and quadruple check with MOM. You need to be fully licensed. Okay, so today in this company, we have 6 of us who are fully licensed. Okay, just to assure you, and these are screenshots from Ministry of Manpower website, in case you need to verify. Okay, you can search AIMS and all the agency personnel will appear. All right, the company will appear first, and then you can click on personnel, will appear. Okay, so this is the flow. Okay, the details and the deep diving, right? The consultants or even myself will help you on a one-to-one basis. Everybody's profile is different. Okay, so documents collection, video filming, either we do it in our office or if you prefer to do it at your own home, it's fine. Okay. And then there will be an interview outcome. Okay, because some of these jobs, right, they are really simple. They just don't have the people. So there has been many instances where the interview is waived because they've seen a video, they match it against your passport, they know who we are talking about, so the interview is waived. Okay, but video resume is still a must, right? So then there will be a job offer. Okay, our lawyer will put out a petition. Okay, in America it's called a petition, I-140. Once the petition has an outcome, then we move forward. The last stage, right, is basically you, depending on where you are at that time, to visit the local US embassy for the final interview. Okay, the questions that they will ask are very detailed and in-depth. How did you know about this job? Do you know what you are getting into? Why is it that you are administrator of AIMS today? Why would you want to go on to become a nursery plant operator? These are the questions that you have to answer genuinely and truthfully. Okay, because it's all real, right? There are people who are willing to do that. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. All right, so what do we have right now? Okay, if you're someone who have spent time in the kitchen, good for you. If you're someone like me who only know how to eat, then it's very bad news. Okay, so we have catfish factory, sausage company, and poultry company. Everything involves you dealing with knives. So if that's something that you're not comfortable with, maybe at this point in time we may not be able to assist you, but we constantly look for low-skilled jobs with real employers who are willing to pay real salaries in order for our clients to get into America. Constantly. So if today is not the time, so be it. We will be here. I don't think this program will close tomorrow. Okay? But again, let me bring you back to the first point. Okay? For example, January 2020, dear Donald Trump decided to shut off any Myanmar citizens for his own reasons, because he feel that, oh, they were not doing the Rohingya Muslims right. So he said that this country has no human rights, we need to shut it off. We don't know whether Biden will do the same thing because of what's happening now. Okay, but I assume some of you may be tuning in from Myanmar, but I assume the people seated here today are mostly domiciled here, right? But at the end of the day, it's not about where you are living, it's about what's your nationality and what's your country of birth, right? Okay, of course there are others, like, so, of course not only do you get involved in cutting, sometimes you get involved in packing, you know, and stuff like that, okay, but it's really simple jobs. I just want to make it very clear. Okay, so let's take a look at EB3. There are certain people that we cannot help, okay? So if you look at this, right, again, this is public information, okay? It's called the Visa Bulletin that you can extract from the USCIS website, the Visa Bulletin. It tells you the priorities of the employment-based visas that we have talked about today from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? And you look at the EB3 preference, okay? You will see, okay, if you are born in India, okay, I would like to apologize that we honestly cannot help you with this visa option right now. Why? Okay? You can look at it, okay? EB3, all chargeability areas, okay, that means rest of the world. C means current, okay? We look further to China mainland born. So if you are born in China, okay, they are processing the 2018 applications. Okay, so just to give you more clarity, every single year, okay, there is a quota for every nationality to move to America. An individual nationality is approximately 10,000. Okay, so what these statistics tell us is, under the employment-based third preference from 2018 January, okay, they are still at that phase. So they will clear another 10,000, then it probably leads to January 2019, clear another 10,000 leads to January 2020, clear another 10,000 leads to January 2021. Okay, so we can roughly count, if you are Indian born, there's approximately 110,000 ahead of you, because the last processing date is January 2010. So just to put things into reality, today, if AIMS is extremely dirty and we cannot find people to work to clean up the office, will I wait 3 months? If I don't have a choice, maybe. Will I wait 3 years? Very unlikely. I'll decide to clean it up myself or change to an office where I don't need cleaning. Will I wait 10 years? Totally out of the question. So if you are Indian born or if you are China born, we may not be the best people to assist you with the EB3 options. Okay, but if you are not, then it's good that we sit down to have a discussion. That's for sure. All right. Okay, so my colleagues have been very kind. They put a side-by-side comparison, but again, it's not a fairest comparison. One is a low-skilled job called EB3. One is an investor kind of thing called EB5, right? So comparing, as a low-skilled worker, of course, there's no investment, but of course, you need to have funds to settle yourself into America. Like, you need to rent a place, you need to get around, you need to eat, okay, that's important. Cost. Total cost of the application, excluding your flight tickets, excluding your rental, excluding everything up, is US dollars 40,000. Okay? In the EB5, you invest 900,000. On top of that, you need to pay legal fees, syndication fees, and what fees? About 80,000 USD. Job offer, yes, but low skilled jobs. Immediate green card. Okay, why is it that the investor one says that there's no immediate green card? Okay, it's because there are conditions. Okay, so remember we spoke about EB5 about how they have to create 10 jobs. So once the 900,000 goes into America, okay, immigration will wait. They give you something called a conditional green card. In 24 months later, your lawyer has to file a separate petition and prove that in these 24 months, 10 jobs were created. Then they will remove conditions. So even though it's a direct green card, it is subjected to conditions, which is why they put here as immediate green card PR, no. And for EB3, yes. Is it valid for family application? The answer is yes. Family means nucleus. Okay, like you, your spouse, and your children, that's your family nucleus. Your spouse and children below 18. Okay, that's nucleus. Okay, for above 18, we need to strategize and see how we can fit them in. If we can't, then probably we have to exclude them. Okay, why choose us? Because we are real. Okay, we've been doing this for 2.5 years. We have been here in Singapore for the last 15 years. I would say it's efficient, but however, I would like to also let you know that because of COVID-19, there has been delays, right? Because of social distancing, because of limitation, because of work from home, a lot of interviews cannot be conducted in some embassies. Okay, so there has been a delay. Yeah, and these employers, right, because they have to go through the Department of Labor, so they are all government approved to hire from overseas. Okay, this is some of our labor cert approval. Okay. This is some of our job offers, like a landscaping technician job offer. Of course, we have locked out the employers and the applicants' names. Yeah, NVC, National Visa Center, which is good news, means you're almost going to get interviewed at the embassy already. And there's a consular interview letter where you're officially invited to the consular for interview. Okay. Okay, and again, this is something about us. So again, if you go to the MOM website, you look for AIMS, you will see that we have 0 demerit points. Okay, which is important. That means we have not done anything wrong so far. Okay, thank you. Yes, questions. Sorry, what's the QR code? Is it an interview? Yeah. Perfect. Okay, so we have a client. His name is Yin Chang. Okay, so if you are interested to know about his journey, okay, because the interview was quite long, about an hour, but of course you can skip some parts. Like some parts were just joking. So what happened is he was the first in AIMS to secure the EB3 visa. So we did an in-depth interview every step of the way. Okay, and if you're interested to follow him on Facebook, which he's posting every now and then, stuff like that, please feel free to do so. And he's also very open to communicate with any one of you who wants to communicate with him. Just get his details from our consultants. Okay, you can contact him through Messenger. You can see some of his public posts. It's all there. All right, and this is a QR code for you to scan to see the interview that we did with him, so that other than hearing from a consultant, right, which you will think like, oh yeah, you know, you will sugarcoat everything, you can hear about Yin Chang's challenges. Okay, one of the challenge was he had to go through 2 rounds of visa interviews, instead of 1. Okay, so these are the things that he'll be more than open to share with you, and it's also covered in the interview. We just want to be as real as possible. At the end of the day, right, we want to do what we can. There are certain things that we cannot do, certain times that we will fail, but as much as possible. Yeah, and I think now that the whole Singapore knows how to scan QR code, is a lot easier. So feel free to scan it and download this video and watch it. Okay. Oh, and yes, connect with us, please. Okay, we're on Instagram, we're on WeChat, we're on LinkedIn, and we're on Facebook. Right. So thank you very much for those people who are online. Thank you all of you who have made time on a Sunday to come to our office. Really appreciate it. And I hope we will be able to assist you, whether it's to America or to any part of